Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. Welcome to another webinar of IIU. IIU is a leading virtual educational system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable, trusted, worldwide, and well-reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and committed to providing better and virtual education to all young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing this conventional educational system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internships to their e-learners across the globe with the help of its 1,000 and plus global educators. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Panditzer. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all that are watching this webinar. My name is Marija Gurina, and I am a professor of physics and computer sciences in Croatia in secondary school, and I'm also student, PhD student on University of Split in Croatia. And today, I will speak about modern methods in teaching in STEM education. So I am very pleased that you are all here with us today and that you are interested in learning with us using IIU platforms. I have more than 15 years of experience in physics education, and I'm interested in gamification and incorporating its elements in secondary school physics education. So I think that modern methods in teaching STEM are very important, and I hope that you will learn something today from me. Let me share my screen now. Okay. Okay. Okay, as you can see here, excuse me, sorry. And here it is. I will speak, as I mentioned before, about modern teaching methods in STEM education. And as you all know, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. And it involves a variety of innovative techniques and technologies to engage and motivate students, promote deeper understanding and critically thinking, and enhance learning outcomes. These methods that I'm going to speak about today in teaching STEM include project-based learning, as you can see, inquiry-based learning, flipped classrooms, gamification, and in its implementation in STEM education, virtual and augmented reality, online simulations and labs, peer learning and collaboration, and adaptive learning systems. As I mentioned before, use of data analytics and personalized learning technologies are becoming increasingly prevalent in STEM education, allowing for a more tailored and customized learning experience for each student. So let's start with project-based learning. I hope you have already tried to use project-based learning in your education. And if you shorten it as PBL, we can call it, or we can define it as a student-centered teaching method that involves hands-on, collaborative, and interdisciplinary projects aimed at developing critical thinking, problem solving, and communicational skills. It emphasizes real-world problem solving and encourage students to take ownership on their learning, and this is very important a part of project-based learning. So it makes possible to students to take ownership. Can you hear the hardcore of this word, ownership of their learning? And in PBL, students are presented with complex, open-ended questions or problem that they must solve through research, analysis, and synthesis. They work in teams or groups, often with the guidance of a teacher or a mentor, to develop a plan of action, conduct research, and create a solution. And when we speak about the solution may take the form of a product or a presentation, a performance, or any other type of output that demonstrates their understanding of the problem and their ability to apply their learning. And here on this graphic, you can see these parts of project-based learning, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 icons. From this one, driving question and needing to know, of course, researching significant content, making public presentation. Of course, it includes reflection and revision, and it also includes depth inquiry and innovation. That is very important for 21st century skills. And voice and choice by students. This is also very important. The benefits of PBL, I hope that you already know, are numerous. For example, for one, it helps students develop a deep understanding of the subject matter they are studying. By working on a project, they are able to connect theoretical concepts to real-world applications, which helps them see the relevance of what they are learning. So, you know, I am a physics teacher, so the concepts of physics are rather abstract, and to my students, physics is always hard, and they don't like it. And if you or if I use a project-based learning approach, they like physics because they see why they need to learn it. So I think it is very important that they can see the connection between concepts of hard parts of science with real world. For example, additionally, PBL helps students develop critical thinking, what is also very important, and problem-solving skills, as they must analyze informations, identify relevant data, and make informed decisions. So you put them in a circle of information, data, and decisions that they need to analyze, identify, and make. So as you can see, these verbs: analyze, identify, make. This is very important in our education. And moreover, PBL encourages collaboration and communication, as students work in teams and must communicate to complete the project. This helps students develop important interpersonal skills that are essential to both academic and professional settings. It also promotes creativity and innovation, and students can encourage to think outside of the box and come up with novel solutions to complex problems. And you know, when you speak about complex problems and innovations and critical thinking and physics and STEM, you know, all of these words that I have said now, they are connected in 21st digi skills and in 21st skills and in technology. So for the modern world and for modern jobs, this is very important. And we teachers are preparing our students for modern world. So it is very important to start early and to feed our children with these very important terms. And I must say that PBL also is an effective way to access students' learning. And instead, the traditional assignments, such as exams, quizzes, PBL allows students to demonstrate their understanding of the material through their project. This provides a more holistic view of students' learning and allows teachers to assess a wide range of skills. You know, and it will be said for all of these teaching methods, learning methods, that as I say it now, I will say it later, PBL requires careful planning and preparation. I know we are short with our time and that we need to prepare for traditional education also, but for this project-based learning, we need to prepare more. But once you have managed to prepare project-based learning, and once that you have implemented in your teaching progress, it's the easy part then. And every generation has project-based learning, and every generation has opportunity to become leader and to understand these terms I have mentioned before. So you know, you will make lots of work first or second year of trying to implement some of these teaching methods. But when you make it and when you learn your students that you are learning like this and that you are teaching like this, they will be prepared, and that's half of the job. So let's get along. I will look later if you have some questions or something in chat box in Facebook, so I can answer it. I hope that you are also familiar with inquiry-based learning. So we can shorten it as IBL, like we used before PBL. Now we are going to speak about IBL. And it is a student-centered teaching approach that emphasizes student curiosity, exploration, and discovery. It is a method of learning that places the student at the center of the learning process, allowing to take an active role in their education. In IBL, I can say students are encouraged to ask questions. So this is the center part of inquiry-based process, asking questions, and after asking questions, investigate or explore problem, and then after they have explored it, investigated, finding solution. They are given the freedom to choose their topics of interest, conduct their research, and analyze their findings. This teacher acts in this learning process. I will rather say, teacher acts as a facilitator, providing guidance and support to help students navigate through their learning process. So you are navigator, you are sailor, you are the main person in the ship navigating, and students, everything is centered about the students. The benefits of IBL are numerous, like in PBL. And also I need to mention critical thinking. And also it encourages students to ask questions and analyze informations. IBL also promotes high order thinking, and helps also students to develop the ability to think critically, and the most important, independently. So moreover, IBL promotes lifelong learning. That is very important. So, someone can ask me, why are you speaking to these people over the webinar? Sorry. And what is your main purpose? Why are you doing this? So, inquiries that is leading me. And I think that if I share my knowledge, and if I speak about the methods, if I speak about my way of teaching and education, it helps me grow. And long life learning is the process that is conducted in my head. So I think that is very important. That is important to do learning by inquiry. IBL also helps students develop communication and collaborational skills. By working together also on projects, they can once more communicate effectively and collaborate with others. And what is the main purpose why I'm a teacher? I'm a teacher. I'm a PhD student. I am a teacher trainer for IIU. I am learning with IIU because I love learning. Because when I am inquired, when I learn by inquiry, I love what I'm doing. So we can do that with children too, and it is very important. Make them love science and make them love to learn, and they will learn the whole life. IBL is also effective way to access students' learning instead of relying on traditional assignments. And also, as PBL, as I mentioned before, it requires careful planning and preparation. I said it before, teachers must design projects that are aligned with their learning objectives, and that provide students with opportunities to develop the skills and knowledge they need to succeed. And they must also provide appropriate guidance and support to help students work through the inquiry process and develop their understanding of the subject matter. So the preparation here is very important. Here on this graphic, also I don't have presentations with so much words. I think that picture can say 1,000 words, good picture. So here you can see that everything is centered in the head of the student, and the main part of inquiry-based process of learning is to identify the problem, to ask the question, then to explore it. After exploration or investigation, it is a good point to make a model. And after making a model, it is very important to make an evaluation of this model, so you can make it better. And after that, after you evaluate it, it is very, very important that you can make an explanation for everything that you have already done, and to connect with others and to share your knowledge. So it is a circle that goes around and around as many times as you want. So I think that I put it here. So I think that inquiry-based learning, such as PBL learning, these are methods that are very, very important. So you can try it in your classroom. You now see what are the main parts of it. So I think that you will succeed, and that you will make your students love learning. And that is our main point, isn't it? And we are now going to flipped classroom. And it is it is I would say teaching approach that involves reversing the traditional model of classroom instruction. And in flipped classroom, students learn the subject matter at home through video lectures or other forms of multimedia, while classroom time is decided to activity, hands-on learning activities, and so on. So how do I do it in my classroom? And I think it's very important. I had, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, one lesson that we were speaking about hidden numbers. I think you have a book and you have a movie about hidden numbers, and it's a story about Afro-American women that were behind NASA's hidden figures. It has different translations in different languages. So it is a story about Afro-American scientists, women that were behind the NASA's program. So I gave my classroom a sign that they need to read a book, or that they need to prepare to watch some parts of this film. Film is available on DVD, on in Cinestar or somewhere. They can watch it, or they can watch a trailer on YouTube. These are okay. So they had assignment, and after that we needed to speak about on our next class about what they have read, or what have they. So the main point of this is to give your students a sign for home, and they can use technology that is available for them, and then you make reflection on the next class and speak or make some project or quiz or a working paper, worksheet or something. So when you speak, the main idea, what I wanted to say to you behind the flipped classroom, is that students can learn at their own place and review the material as many times as needed. That is very important. You just give them a time, and by freeing up class time for discussion and application, students can deliver deeper into the subject matter, ask questions, and work on projects that help them apply what they have learned. And also, I need to say that the benefits of flipped classrooms are numerous. It allows for, I can say, for the one and big one, is that it allows teachers to spend more time working with individual students or small groups of students, providing them with personalized attention and support, and that is very important for every student. This can be especially helpful for students who need extra help or who learn at a different pace than their peers. And flipped classrooms promote active learning, and by providing students with opportunities to apply what they have learned in class, flipped classroom encourages also critical thinking and problem solving, and also collaboration. So I think that the flipped classroom is one very good approach to individual students and small students groups. So you can use this approach or this method when you want to learn with small groups, or when you want to have a if you wish to have approach to students that have different abilities. That is also very important. Also, I think I don't need to mention it anymore. It also requires careful planning and preparation of materials, of the time that you will manage to your students. So you do need to think about what do you want from your learning process. You know, in this method, teacher must design video or other multimedia resource that engage innovative and that are engaging, innovative, and accessible to all students. So you need to work with technology. You need to know the matter of what are you doing. So it is also it takes time. I will say it easy way. It takes time, but once you have prepared, then it goes slightly. It's no problem. So this is about the flipped classroom. Now we have gamification, and this is my part, and this is where I am planning to do my doctoral degree. I have mentioned before I am PhD student, and I am making research, and I did one webinar about gamification in physics education for IIU. So we are conducting research about how elements of gamification impact on students' learning process and motivation in topics of energy, work, and power in physics. And this will be one great research. I'm seeing it. So I think that gamification is one technique that is very good for every one of you. And if I could ask you one question, I can ask you one question. Can you think, do you gamify your education? Well, I think that when you say, no, I'm not gamifying my education, or you can say, yes, I'm gamifying my education. So I think that you all a bit are gamifying. If you are giving grades and students know who is the best and who is the worst, you are gamifying. So how do sportists, soccer players or someone, how did they know, did they win or did they lose? They know it by the score. Also, your students know how did they score on the exam. So if you have exam and you have it, you are gamifying your education. So this is very important. We are all gamifying. And, you know, this motivates students. It is better to get an A than to get an E. Of course it is. I have a little boy that is that is in third grade of elementary school, and he said, "Okay, C is also a score, but it is not like A." And he, you know, his old teacher in school is gamifying. So gamification is teaching approach, technique, if you wanted to call it so, that involves using game elements and designs to enhance the learning experience and motivation of students. From my point of view, I could call it a strategy that uses game mechanics such as points, badges, leaderboards to motivate students and make learning more engaging. The idea behind gamification is that by making learning more fun and interactive, students will be more motivated to learn and more likely to retain the information they have learned. Gamification is particularly effective for subjects that are traditionally seen as difficult, as it can make the material more accessible and easier to understand. And this is why I took it in physics. Physics is traditionally seen as dry or difficult, and students do not like it. So gamification can motivate them and can make the materials more accessible and easier to understand. And I think that you all need to gamify your education. I don't know what you are doing, but try to implement some parts of gamification in your class. Oh, God, I could speak about gamification for hours, and we do not have time. So I hope that we will have more opportunities on IIU to speak only about the gamification. So I think it is the one of the main techniques that can be conducted in our teaching process, and we can implement it in our teaching process to motivate our students. Maybe they will not be more smarter, or maybe they will not learn more, but you will have this motivation button, and you will be happy that your students are interested more than they were when you were doing your traditional way. So try gamification. It is really, really wow. I will say that. Okay, now we are going on virtual and augmented reality, and here I have put in one picture that you can see, and that you can in a few sentences see what is the difference between augmented and virtual reality. As you can see, augmented reality is a mix of the real world and the virtual world, and it lets people interact with both worlds and distinguish clearly between both. This is generally achieved by holding a smartphone in front of you. And on the other side, in this blue box, you can see virtual reality. And in virtual reality, we create an entire virtual world. And in this case, it is hard to make a difference between what is real and what is not real. And this is generally achieved wearing a helmet or goggles. From my point of view, I am very satisfied with augmented reality. My children do it with a cell phone, smartphone, or tablet. And we do have lots of models like water cycle in nature that we have lived it with smartphone. We had some QR codes or Zappar codes, and we scan it, and you can see the rain or evaporation or clouds or something. So for virtual reality, you need technology that is more expensive, and it is not something that you always have in your schools. And sometimes there is a financial problem for do something virtual reality, but augmented reality is more popular for teachers and for students. These are two emerging technologies that are transforming the way we learn and interact with the world around us, of course. While VR and AR have some similarities, as you can see, they are also there are also distinct differences that makes them unique. Virtual reality, as I mentioned before, is a technology that creates a simulated environment in which users can interact with digital objects or space. VR typically involves wearing a headset that immerses the user in 360 degrees world. So you don't know where you are in that virtual world, 360 degrees on every side. So, and it can be used to simulate real world environments or create entirely new ones. For STEM education is good. You know, I once entered like a small man, you know, this is experience in molecule of water, and I sat on oxygen, and I watched two hydrogen atoms, and it was, wow, where am I will fall from oxygen atom, what is this? And for this is the huge experience for students. But if you have 20 or 30 students in your classroom, I think that this is a little bit problematical to conduct. So you can think about it, but and also if you have technology for 20 students, it's okay, it's fine. But I think that augmented reality is more cheaper and appropriate for bigger classrooms. So you have your own opinion. You can decide what you want to use, or what you don't want to use, or what will you use occasionally, and what can you use every week. So it is your decision, but I think that but for me, augmented reality is more appropriate. So the benefits of these realities, augmented and virtual realities, are numerous. It provides an immersive and engaging learning experience, allowing students to explore concepts and ideas in a more interactive and dynamic way. VR can also be used to create simulations and scenarios that would be too expensive or dangerous to recreate in real life. You know, when you are burning something in chemistry, or when you are trying to do roller coaster or something like that in physics, it can be dangerous for students. How can you take 20 students, or how can you burn something in front of students that is poison? And you can do it in virtual reality, and it is not a problem. And also it can simulate flight, or it can simulate some medical procedures that are very important for students in vocational schools, if you have students in vocational schools. In terms of education, both VR and AR have the potential to revolutionize the way we learn. They provide students with a more engaging and interactive learning experience, allowing them to explore concepts and ideas in, I said it before, more dynamically and immersive way. They can also be used to create simulations, as I mentioned before, and also when you are not far away from your traditional education, you can do virtual reality teaching process, but you need to prepare your scenario, you need to prepare your working sheets. Also, you need preparation for this kind of teaching process. So I think it is a modern approach to process of teaching, but it is very important about it is important what teachers approach, what teacher thinks that it is good or is appropriate for his classroom. Okay, we have online simulation and labs. I am physics, and I am using PhET interactive simulations in my classroom. I think for these past 2.5 years, it was these simulations were remarkable, because in this COVID pandemic, I did all of my experiments from the classroom through PhET interactive simulations. And online simulations and labs are a powerful tool for enhancing the learning experience and providing students with hands-on interactive learning opportunities. So if you are a physician or if you are doing physics or chemistry, use online simulations and labs, of course. We have learning and for collaboration. Here you can see infographics where you can see what are the advantages of peer learning. And peer learning and collaboration are two important aspects of modern education. Peer learning refers to the process of students learning from each other, while collaboration involves working together towards a common goal. Both of these approaches have been shown to be effective in improving learning outcomes and enhancing the students' experience. So you can see here what are the advantages: gain new perspectives, build networks, increase engagement, improve communication skills, create feedback loops, and accelerate learning. These are all benefits of peer learning and also collaboration. And said it's the last, but it's the sweetest one. Adaptive learning systems are powerful tools for enhancing a learning experience also, and providing students with personalized data-driven instructions. These systems use data analytics and machine learning algorithms to analyze students' performance and provide personalized feedback and instruction, allowing students to learn at their own pace and according to their individual needs. So you can see here adaptive learning, what are benefits for learners, what are benefits for teachers, and what are benefits for institutions. So for benefits for learners are respects priori knowledge, differential abilities, response to various learning needs for every student, every learner, and reduces gaps in understanding. And these are these different conceptions or misconceptions that we have in STEM education. You know what I mean. So benefits for teachers. We have new age teaching tools and aids. System metrics allow teacher intervention before students risk failure, withdrawal, and monitoring process and devote attention to weak areas. You know, I'm looking for my weak areas when I'm on my university. So it is very important that we look for weak areas at our students and in our classrooms. And benefits for institutions. For institutions, adaptive learning enables large-scale personalized learning. And you have this in IIU, you know. You can have a large scale of personalized learning. You can watch or listen whatever you want and whatever it is you're interested to listen and to learn. It contributes to greater level of academic success, and it is in IIU. It is success that you are looking for, and rules out cheating because content and assignments are unique for each student. You know, you don't need to listen modern methods in STEM if you are not interested. So this is unique for you because you are interested in this topic, and IIU make it possible for you to listen this webinar. So adaptive learning systems are very good for learners, for teachers, and for institutions. And for conclusion, overall, modern methods in teaching STEM education aim to make learning more interactive, engaging, and relevant to real-world applications, while preparing students for the demands of an increasingly technology-driven society. You know, when I wrote this sentence, I wanted to make impact for the one last sentence, and I thought about what will I write, and I said, okay, technology-driven society. This is hard, and you know, we are really we are preparing our students. IIU is preparing their listeners and students for demands of an increasingly technology-driven society. These are 21st jobs, and this is what is very important for all the students and for all educators. So modern methods in teaching STEM education needs to aim to make learning more interactive. You need to engage your students and to connect your students to a real world applications, real world problem, through SDG goals, through simulations, through technology, through vocational schools, through technology driving society, through everything. You know, we need to engage our students, especially in the field of STEM. That is very important, because of STEM, as we mentioned on the first sentence, that it's connecting, STEM is connecting, as I mentioned before, everything that is important for 21st jobs and skills. So I hope that you have enjoyed this webinar. If you have any questions that you cannot put in text box or on Facebook, or if you if I didn't read it in the text box of Facebook, surely send me a mail, so I will share my knowledge, share my materials. It is no problem for me. And hope you like this webinar, and I hope that I will have more opportunities like this. And for me, this is all. Okay, I need to say one more time, thank you, IIU, for this opportunity. Thank you, our dear visionary founder, Mr. Pandit, sir. Thank you very much. This is a great opportunity, and I think that IIU is doing a great job. Thank you once more, and hope to see you on next webinar in bigger number. Thank you, and goodbye.